Hey, what's good, everybody? I'm gonna do bonus all signs blue moon reading. So yeah, let's see what comes out. I was being pushed to do it, so I would have thought one was enough, but I don't know, blame it on the Gemini, my Gemini sun, moon in Sagittarius, and it's a full moon in Sagittarius, right? This blue moon, so maybe I'm feeling extra communicative. So I'm gonna do a bonus one. All right. So this time I'm gonna start with a quick for the collective kind of general energy, right? I haven't used this deck in a bit, so I'm gonna start with this. So let's see. Okay, so what's the overall for the collective? Something for the whole. Whoa, okay. Wow, that's funny that came out. Tecusis Tecatl. The man of the big shao, el hombre del gran caracol. That is crazy because I was watching something and the shao, right? The shao popped out. El hombre del gran caracol. Wow, that's crazy. So let me read that real quick and then I'll start, you know, with the birthday guys and gals, the Geminis, right? And then we'll go from there. So tecusis, tecatl. Okay. The man of the big shao, el hombre del gran caracol. Tecus Tecutecatl is a central figure in the creation story of the current age. In the story of all the divine beings, in the story, all the divine beings are gathered to create the new sun, and each must give offerings to the fire. Tecus Tecutecatl, a wealthy deity offered precious gifts instead of offering mere branches. He offered costly feathers. Instead of straw, he offered gold. And instead of maguey spines, he offered spines made of precious gems. Instead of offering his own blood, he offered blood colored coral along with the best copal. When the deities asked for volunteers to sacrifice by throwing themselves into the fire to create the sun, two deities answered the call: Tecusis, Tecatl, and Nanahuatzin. But Tecutecatl was afraid. He tried 4 times to enter the fire, but could not. After he failed the fourth time, Nanahuatzin bravely threw himself on the ritual fire to create the sun. Ashamed of his cowardice, Tecutecatl followed Nanahuatzin into the fire and became the moon. The Shao is a representation of the moon, which is why he is often depicted with a Shao, sometimes on his back and other times over his head. When Tecutecatl appears, he may be drawing your attention to the fact that you are more concerned with material things than spiritual matters. Or he may be calling your attention to your own cowardice, urging you to take action in your life before it is too late. Take time to meditate on the fear that is preventing you from embodying your highest self. Wow, that was once in a blue moon. So, wow, that is amazing. So, that makes perfect sense, right? And I was thinking that as I was reading it, like maybe this blue moon is a chance for redemption for anyone, right, that has maybe felt like they failed to take action, right? They feel like a cowardice about it. I mean, there's really no other way of putting it, right? It's funny because my moon is in Sagittarius, and I looked it up. It literally said the moon in Sagittarius represents like truth above everything else, right? Like truth above your feelings, truth above this. It's all about the truth. So, it made sense to me, right? Because a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. Obviously, that makes you unpopular sometimes. People don't want to hear the truth, right? And so then I had to learn how to be a little more gentle with the truth, because people don't get their panties or drawers in a bunch, right? So I had to learn how to be a little more gentle with my delivery, right? But anyways, so yeah, so for some of you, maybe this is a chance at redemption, right? And as you see, this figure did redeem themselves, right? Let me keep them out because I had put them back in, right? Tecusistecat did redeem themselves, right? So, and they became the moon out of all things, right? And I like that there's blue there, right? So the blue moon. So that's pretty beautiful. I love it. It makes sense now, right? Why I was called to, yeah, to pull some cards right now, right? So, on that note, do I need to do another animal? I know I did the animal, spirit animal yesterday. I had a very interesting dream. I don't think that's ever happened where, or not to that extent. I think I fell back asleep 4 times, and every time the dream continued, right? I woke up, went to the restroom real quick, went back to sleep. The dream continued. Went again, woke up, the dream continued. Went again, the dream continued. So I was just mind blown. I was like, how did this dream? Whoa, okay. So there it is, Gemini. So happy birthday, Geminis. Yeah, it's a beautiful time to be a Gemini. And so for you right now, 13, right? So 13, often I think of the death in the tarot, right? The cat, 9 lives, right? So I feel like you've definitely ended a cycle. Last night, I heard a very important message for myself as I was going to sleep. So, like I said, I'm a Gemini sun. So this definitely resonates with me. Claim your independence. So that 100%. I won't say exactly the message that I was told, but let's just say that this definitely resonates. 13, claim your independence, cat spirit, right? I love that it almost looks like there's a heart. And I didn't even realize I had my hand over my heart. So for you, Gemini, cat spirit, that's beautiful. I love it. Um, Man, my nose is itching like crazy. I want to blame it on the incense, but the incense doesn't always make my nose itch this much. Second house assets. So the same. If that resonates with you, if you've been caring too much about the material at this time, maybe it's time to not, right? Look at that material world, possessions, finance, talent, value, solidity, worthiness, wardrobe, luxuries, credit score, security, aesthetics, right? So especially you Geminis that are usually very tapped in, right? Right now it looks like the overall message was to maybe focus a little more on the spiritual aspects of your walk, right? So let me see. I'm gonna try to go through these, not take too long. Let me see. I didn't get this deck yesterday. This one's kind of the blunt deck, so this goes perfect with the Sagittarius full moon. So what? Whoa. All right. So yeah, this is probably help me fix this. I'm sad. Fix this. So definitely keep know your boundaries. You are not everyone's emotional support wizard. That's not your job, right? And look at it. I like the fact that this person is like in their little wizard hat and cape. It's almost like it's taking away from you focusing on your walk, right? On your spiritual walk, like the magician, right? It's taking away from you being able to do what you need to do if everybody's trying to pull on you and ask you to help them with their situations, right? So, okay, let's get into it. If I didn't say it, once again, happy birthday, Geminis, right? Don't forget to put like, don't forget to subscribe. Wow, and this came out in the one yesterday, so I'm not surprised. Prosperity, bam. So, probably having those healthy boundaries. It's funny that you focusing on the spiritual might actually increase your finances, right? Like a reward from the universe, from the spirit world for, you know, doing what you got to do, right? It's almost like, hey, we got your back. You don't have to worry about all that stuff, right? Let's see what else, Gemini. Whoa. Ah, yeah. See. Oh, and it's funny that that's a two as well. But see, it's a choice, right? It's funny that there was a two that came out, but this is like a two with a choice, right? Like you already grabbed the world in the palm of your hand. You grab the wand that it feels very sure, right? Like this, boom, this is the wand I'm starting my journey with, right? Interesting. Very interesting. I never realized that he has the wand on a higher. higher ground kind of thing. Almost like he's not ashamed. I know it's just a wand, but it's like showing the world, like, bam, look at this is my wand, right? This is who I am. This is my walk. This is my purpose. So I like that. That's that really jumped out at me right now. It never has before. That's so funny. So definitely walking away from something else, right? And this makes sense too, right? It's resonating with everything, claiming your independence, something that maybe had you bound, right? I know the devil came out yesterday for Gemini, I want to say. So maybe the Eight of Cups even came out for Gemini yesterday. So that makes perfect sense. Man, well, I guess I'll take it. So the magician came out in reverse, and look at what I said. So some of you might have not walked away yet. Some of you might still be everybody's emotional support wizard, as it says, emotional support wizard. So you're kind of in a little, right? You're on the verge of walking away, and they're trying to urge you to do it, right? So call on the cat to help you with that 13 death and rebirth, or just to claim your independence, right? The cat don't play around. You don't, right? You don't, like they say, like you don't own the cat kind of thing, right? Like the cat chooses you more than you choose the cat, right? So that's pretty interesting. So I like that, right? Let's see what else. What else? Yeah, I was very surprised. Oh, but look, victory. So that's beautiful. Maybe a little divine intervention has to take place, right? The temperance angel. But it looks like you'll have victory once you make the choice, right? To walk away. So for those of you that haven't walked away, once you make that choice, it looks like you're victorious, right? Good news, success, right? Something comes in out of nowhere. I like it though, right? Patient. Maybe you did have to be patient. Moderation, adaptation. Maybe you a little reflection, right? Searching for peace. Peace. Maybe that's what makes the final choice, right? You're in a situation, whether work, relationship, that it just didn't bring you peace. And maybe that's the kind of nail in the coffin. You're like, does this really bring me peace? And then a new connection comes in, right? I think yesterday was all about emotions, right? Today, it even says here, good marriage. So, I think that's kind of that's sneaking in there right at the end, right? And it was kind of the dual message, right, of wealth and also emotional success or fulfillment, right? So I think on that note I could end it there. I got chills, so I feel like, yeah, I'll just roll some dice. I didn't find my other dice. I have this dice that goes in multiples of two, so like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. And but I'll roll the other dice too, so let's see. So maybe you're June 4th, right? The 6 came out, so that's a lot of numbers, but maybe you're June 6th, June 4th, right? 6-4. Maybe you're 64. Maybe you're I don't know, maybe 664 means something to you, right? Maybe that's your address. Something, right? Yeah, June 6th, June 12, June 12 and 4, 16, right? Something like that, right? Maybe that, yeah, maybe you were born in 64. So maybe one of those numbers mean something. Okay. So on that note, I'll go over to Aries. Just do it the same as yesterday. Yeah, okay. So I already did that one. Yeah, my crown's lighting up, so I feel like good because I was like, am I really gonna do another whole all signs reading? Guess so. All right, so Aries. Wow, the bat spirit. So, you know, the bat always gives this message, but I mean, for me, it's never failed in my life, but it is like a dark night of the soul kind of energy. So if you're about to go through a dark night of the soul, Aries, don't be mad at me. It's just it's a death and rebirth. It is what it is. And what does it say? A rebirth is assured. Bat, right? Five, the number of change. So, you know, when I see it, like, once I've shared this story before, but I went where I go hiking. I had been going hiking for over 20 years, never seen a bat there. And one morning, like at 5 in the morning, I go to walk my dog. And then this bat's just circling me nonstop, like nonstop. And I was like, oh man, here it comes. And sure enough, I went through like a dark night of the soul situation, right? So there it is, right? It could mean something else to you. It could just mean your spidey senses are right. The bat has the echolocation, so maybe your intuition is like ramping up right now, which it could be just that. So it doesn't have to be the dark night of the soul, but if it is, hey, just I guess take it with grace. It is what it is. No one is exempt at some point in their life. Oh wow, okay, there it is. 10. 10 is completion. So 10, reputation. So maybe it has to do with that. Maybe you've seen yourself in a certain way and my crown lit up. So maybe you've thought that this is your identity. And sometimes we have to go through a whole like rebirth to really stop being so connected to something. Hey, River Dragon. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for perfect timing. I'm on Aries right now. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. 10th house reputation. So maybe right now, right? Career responsibilities, achievement, competence, fame, notoriety, standing, authority figures, legacy, purpose, pinnacle, the patriarchy, empire. Wow. So, maybe it's a balance thing. Maybe being more in the masculine energy and learning how to balance both sides, right? Wow. And look it, I'm gonna take it just because it happens. I feel like that's extra confirmation. Sagittarius came out, and that's what this blue moon is, right? Sagittarius. So normally I would I'm trying to just get one for every sign, but because it's Sagittarius, I'll read it. Enthusiastic, philosophical, independent, generous, ethical, seeking, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, honest, bareback, bridled, experimental, lucky, boundless, traveling, risk-taking, tactless, self-righteous. So obviously it has both, right? The positive and not so positive aspects. But yeah, maybe that's part of your, kind of rebirth, right? If you weren't so happy, maybe it's becoming happy go lucky. If you were a little too happy go lucky. So I feel like there's some kind of balance in that, right? Has to do with reputation. Something about I heard rebranding. So maybe a rebranding of yourself, right? In the way others but that sometimes the way we feel others see us can keep us bound. And that's why we won't make those changes. Okay, there was one that was already flipped over. Let me make sure nothing. Okay. So yeah. Okay, so what else for Aries? Man, that incense smells good. It's helping me keep going. I don't know how I feel about this because I'm very big on dreams. My dreams to me, like, they do tend to be prophetic or they mean something, right? So it's funny that this card is like that dream wasn't prophetic. You just ate too much. My thing would be trust your gut. Maybe if there's an outside source telling you like, you're looking too much into this or thinking too much, it could be the case. So maybe, right? Maybe there's a voice of reason, right? Maybe if you've been dreaming things, like yesterday, I said it in the beginning, right? My dream continued like 4 times. I don't think that's ever happened. It was a whole movie, right? I, I woke up, went back to sleep. The dream continued. Woke up, went back to sleep. The dream continued. So did my dream mean something? Most definitely, right? After continuing 4 times, there was a lot of messages in there to unpack. So just saying, for every Aries, take it how it resonates. Either it is gonna be that it meant something, or it's gonna be that it probably didn't. If you ate something, yeah, it could be that, right? Sometimes that's literally true. Okay, so I should be a little nicer to this card because yeah, you could eat something that'll make you dream some crazy stuff. So that's true. If that's what they're referring to, then okay, right? But if you didn't eat nothing and you went, you're nice and clear headed, and you have these crazy dreams, journal it, right? I would say journal it. Yeah. See, I felt even like a thing like a stress on the feminine side. So trust your intuition, right? I think just be balanced, right? Just be balanced. Yeah, right? That kind of stuff. So I don't know. That was weird, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. I felt the need to interject for some reason. So I'll just take it that it was meant to be like that for me to say that. So, okay, let's see what else comes out. Maybe this will clarify that, right? Like if the moon comes out, then maybe that's kind of saying that, yeah, don't give too much into the illusions or something like that, right? But if not, then who knows? We'll see. All right. Whoa. Pash? Interesting. And that's funny because yes. Wow, you got some sad. Wow. A lot of fire energy already. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Whoa. Uh-oh. That's, that makes sense though with the bat, right? With the bat coming out. So I feel like maybe you're feeling it passionate about something. You're feeling like it's funny that I pulled them like this though. The knight running one way and the queen. I mean, take it out, it resonates. Maybe right now you are feeling passionate, right? You want to run towards something, or if that's your energy, right? Cause see, the with the two of swords, it almost feels like that's both your energies. Like there's a conflict going on between rushing towards something or sitting and observing, right? Hmm. And the Wheel of Fortune came out in reverse. So that kind of goes with the bat and the shadow work, right? Wow, I think you're really going through some kind of balance, right? For those resonating with this, because then a while ago I felt it on the left, the feminine side, and I felt like a burden on the masculine side. Oh, and that's funny. Duh, I didn't even think about it, right? So there's obviously the knight masculine, and then the Queen of Wands feminine. Wow. So I feel like right now that yeah, there's a time of it feels like either you're searching for balance or that's kind of what they're asking of you to take some time to get balanced, right? Which makes sense, right? With 10 reputation, right? If you're doing a whole rebranding of yourself, right? But if you look at it from that aspect, like once in a blue moon, like this is perfect, right? Because maybe not everybody gets this opportunity in life, right? You get stuck with an identity, and then next thing you know, yeah, I'm feeling a lot of pressure on the masculine side. So somehow the masculine aspects of you has kept you bound to a certain like way that you view yourself or the way that you feel people should view you. Yeah. Or the way people view you, like all that stuff. Oh, that's kind of like, yeah, like, unfortunately, everybody goes through it at some point where you care too much about what others think rather than what's really going to make you happy. So maybe this blue moon is a chance to really, it's almost like if you would bring your own tower down kind of thing, right? Or really just allow for the whole shadow work and oh man, I keep feeling all okay. I want to get out of this because I'm feeling wow. See, yep. I knew there was gonna be some kind of too many choices, right? Too much indecision. Yeah, so maybe the dreams too. Maybe your dreams are affecting you. That's why they're saying maybe that try to go to sleep without eating nothing just so you know you're clearer, right? If you're having crazy dreams, maybe you'll get a clearer message, right? So maybe your dreams are even all over the place and it's confusing you. So maybe you need to like, don't eat for, at least a few hours before you go to sleep, right? Don't eat nothing crazy. Don't eat no like cheese stuff, I guess, right? Whether it's chips or it's some crazy stuff. Yeah. That's an interesting I mean, nothing's right because it's obviously for your highest good. Something trying to, for any of you that are going, oh wow, and yeah, maybe to lead you into this Queen of Cups energy, right? To get into a more, yeah, who wouldn't rather be in this, maybe you have water in your chart. So I think, yeah, all this is, and I got like chills when I pulled this card. So maybe all this is leading you to be that, right? Someone that's a lot, maybe all these weird things, right? Weird dreams, weird, um, thoughts, a battle between your masculine and feminine energy is, you know, making you be all over the place. And so ultimately, taking some time, reflecting will put you into a Queen of Cups energy. So that's beautiful, I think. Um, yeah, rather than being in, right, Seven of Cups, Two of Swords, right? Yeah. In this case, I don't feel like the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is negative. It's just it's giving you time to go through what you need to go through. So it's just giving you, yeah, it's like the universe being respectful of whatever you got to go through. Okay, I'll pull one more and then that's it. Because I feel like that just could take me down too many rabbit holes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. And that feels very balanced, right? Like if you almost think of it sitting, see from all that chaotic, right? Them looking at each other and this and that. Now it's like, right? Maybe you'll meet someone and it'll be a very balanced, like, hey, fire and water, right? Maybe you don't think of it always, but maybe it's like you'll meet someone that you fit. Yeah, like you fill each other's gaps, right? For lack of a better phrase, right? So maybe the Queen of Cups is someone you'll meet, right? So maybe, right, getting in a king. Oh, wow. Well, that's even a, right? That's a divine pair. So even that, right? Um, King and Queen of Wands, even, right? And you're there, Aries, right? So I feel like, yeah, right? So either a union or balancing that within yourself, right? Your masculine and feminine being very balanced, right? Having that Aries King of Wands kind of go getter energy, but then being able to be very balanced emotionally when you need to be, right? So I feel like that's what they're pushing you towards, right? There's it's a journey, right? It is a journey. So I'll just end it with that. It doesn't, I don't take it as a negative, right? It's just, it is what it is, right? So let's see what comes out with the numbers. Okay. So maybe your 4/16, right? April 16th, April 17th. Maybe your April 7. Maybe 161 is significant to you. What else? What else? What other combination? 1, 6, 7, 8, maybe 4, 8. So yeah, take that how it resonates. 161. And okay, let's move on to, yeah, I feel like I took a long time with that one. Taurus, right? So okay, let's go to Taurus. I just didn't want to leave it, I guess, on a kind of, you know, down more. But even though it's not a bad thing, it's just, it is what it is, right? Cycles of life. So I just wanted to leave it on a positive note, which it does, right? It's all about doing the work, and maybe if you hadn't been able to before with this blue moon, you can, right? It'll be very miraculous. So Taurus, man, that reading even made me like hot. Like that's weird. Like I got all, like, I don't know. It's a lot of energy with that reading. That is crazy. Wow. I'm not surprised this came out. So Taurus, electric eel, bring your ideas to life, 24. So maybe right now is the time to, if you're having a lot of ideas, right? I don't know what you got yesterday. I'm gonna try not to take as long. See. Maybe listen to that song, that electric. Wow, Gemini, maybe you're a cusper. The butterfly, maybe you're feeling very like you just went through a transformation. Curious, communicative, versatile, flexible, variety seeking, social, collaborative, brilliant perspective, Connected, vocal, adaptive, street smart, mobile, studious, superficial, restless, fidgety. So obviously it says the good things and not so good things, right? So Gemini butterfly. So maybe the butterfly right now, the eel, right? Maybe you want to look into with the eel, right? The electricity maybe is significant right now. So what else? Man, that Aries really made me sweat. Like I'm like, what in the world? That was just so much energy there. That's weird. Okay, so Taurus. Level up. Wow, I love it. Congratulations, you've leveled up, Taurus. So it feels like you might have been doing the work, right? Maybe that's why. Oh, well, the butterfly transformation, right? So that makes sense. Bring your ideas to life. So right now is a perfect time, right? 24, right? 24 is 24 hours in a day. It feels something very complete, right? So, okay, let's keep it moving. Wow, level up. Good job, Taurus. Good job. Let's see. Wow. So now that you've leveled up, there's that, right? If people like, I don't know, maybe you feel now like, hey, now people want, maybe you got a promotion at work and people are upset or, that's how it goes sometimes. But wow, death. Yeah. So there was a death transformation. See, so much here, right? Yeah, the level up, the Gemini butterfly transformation. Here's a death card transformation. You know, yeah, Seven of Wands, right? I love that card because it's very someone that's very confident in their position, right? Solar plexus, very healthy solar plexus energy. So it feels like you know where you stand and you're willing to fight for it, right? You're willing to hold firm on your position. So good job. Wow. Victory. And that thing flipped right on out. Good news, victory. Yeah. Wow, double Leo energy. So maybe you have Leo in your chart. Like it. So what else? I think like I don't know. I don't know if I there's anything else like uh-oh, uh-oh. So maybe in the past, right? You went through a whole thing, so it makes sense, the transformation, right? Nine of Swords. So you probably went through a phase where and that makes sense, right? Your sacral was even affected. So now that you're in this level up, bring your ideas to life, right? The sacral deals with our creativity. So maybe you felt like your creativity was stunned because of what you were going through. And it had I feel like, yeah, it was because of a relationship. Maybe you felt this person was your twin flame or some sort of soulmate or something. And you were affected by it, right? And it's funny that, right? This is the nine and this is the six, right? So the opposite, right? Like the 6, 9. So I feel like there was some kind of divine intervention, divine guidance. Maybe you had to be patient. Maybe it took longer than you expected, but look at with the solar plexus, so it makes sense. And now you're in this healthier solar plexus energy, right? With the temperance angel too. Positive, mentally, spiritually and mentally positive, right? So Sagittarius, wow. So maybe this is kind of your blue moon miracle, right? Everything just seems to have shifted. Everything feels positive. Boom. And yeah, it seems almost like a miracle after being in a period of Nine of Swords at some point, but there was a death and rebirth. So that makes perfect sense. Let me keep it moving since it was very to the point. Wow, okay. So maybe that makes maybe you're 38. Maybe you were born in 83. Maybe you were born in 38. I don't know, if someone that's 80 something will be watching this, 83, 38. Maybe you're May 8th, May 11th, May um 3rd, right? So maybe one of those numbers resonates with you. And yeah, okay. So from there, let's move to I already did Gemini, Cancer. Hey, Billy Bob. Oh, right on time, right? Right as I'm starting Cancer. That's funny. Okay, so see what's the blue moon message for Cancer. Whoa, that's interesting. Spirit has a plan. So I don't know if you've been kind of, I don't know, cancers, right? Cancers in general. Have you had anything that you've been kind of up in your head about lately? But I like it because this koala looks very like shaman like, right? Like if there's a spirit looking at you, right? Like, come on. You know we got this. Or just watching you maybe like lose it and they're like retain, right? 35 might be significant. Koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. I like this a lot. Maybe you like eucalyptus. I don't know. Maybe you like the scent. Maybe you need to use some eucalyptus. Maybe you've been sore or something. I don't know what all the uses are for eucalyptus. But yeah. Hey, internal intentions. Yeah, bonus. Wow, the sun. Well, you know the sun is the brightest. So spirit definitely has a plan. You can't. What is it? You can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. So spirit has a plan. Being essence, energy, self-awareness, life force, spirit, creativity, honor, masculinity, distinction, childness, ego, individuality, solitude, expression, self-sufficiency, self-sufficiency. Let me slow it down. Shine, heartbeat, father. Wow, so interesting. And this koala does have that kind of grandpa look, huh? Or could it be a grandma too? I don't know. Interesting. Okay. So that's funny that the sun is kind of, well, yeah, right? Duh. I didn't even think of, yeah, the sun is masculine, the moon is feminine. I don't know why I never stopped to think about that. Yeah. Whoa, that one just, wow. That kind of goes with the koala, but hey, spirit has a plan, so it's all good. Look at, congratulations, you're the drama. But I don't know. Right now, I'm getting not a not so negative uh kind of vibe from it. Like, hey, maybe it's like, hey, this is your story, right? You're the main character in your story or something. But just in case, right? If you are the drama, then you know maybe that's what it is, right? Like, hey, like don't blow things out of proportion. Relax. Spirit has a plan. So if you've lost it lately or something, Cancer, then so take that how it resonates. That's pretty cool. I like that card because I don't know, she looks so happy, right? So it's pretty cool. I don't know. All right. What else? Okay, what else? What else for the blue moon for Cancer? Wow. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the sun too, right? Leo is the sun. So strength, maybe you're having to have strength right now. Maybe you're stronger than you realize, right? You can tame lions, right? Power, energy, a lot of love. Wow, that never, I don't always read that, but the spirit that dominates the material. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so I like that. Yeah, so strength. Is it Cindy, right? Hey, Cindy. Okay, let's see. Thank you for tuning in. What else for Cancer? Whoa. So maybe that's why the strength. Did you go through a heartbreak and now maybe that was part of the spirit has a plan? And now everything's like turning around, right? The sun, you had to have strength to go through all that. Maybe they're trying to say in that situation, you played your part as well, right? Who knows? Let's see what else. Why the three of I really wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Let me see the three of swords. Why the three of swords? Why the Three of Swords? Wow. Hmm. Interesting. So maybe there was something you thought was like, let's say, for example, yeah, I'll just say it. Like, let's say for any cancers, let's say you were there was a fling, right? And you thought it was something more, and that person, that's not what it was, but you convince yourself that that's what it was. So it was almost like you hurt yourself in a way. That's why I think that message came out of you played your part. So maybe something recently broke your heart, but it was kind of like that, right? Like falling into an illusion that wasn't 100% accurate, right? Or even that, right? Like let's say there was something from the past that didn't work out and then you're a job or relationship and you're still stuck on that. Like no, maybe it's kind of like when people say the twin flame journey, right? And it's like, no, that's my twin flame. They're married right now, they got kids, but I know eventually the universe is gonna bring us back together. So you're like in poopy pants mode, right? Where you're like, no, that's what I want, and that's it, and that's it. But spirit is reminding you that they have a plan, right? There's better things out there, the sun, beautiful things waiting for you. Look at all the fireworks. So for any of you that I don't know got stuck in some kind of energy, and this could be spirit being very blunt, Queen of Swords, right? Either they're reminding you that you have responsibilities, something else. Maybe you're someone that's tapped in and they're asking you to like to not get caught in illusions, right? Because there's other things, right? Spirit has a plan. There's other things. Or maybe you felt someone was very Queen of Swords, being very blunt, like, hey, nah, this isn't what it was, right? It was just something casual, but maybe you convinced yourself that it was more or something. That's kind of what I'm getting. Uh, okay. So let's see what else. What other there's different messages. Obviously, there's how many probably millions of cancers. So one energy could be for one set of cancers. The other energy could be for you know. Ah, yeah. Maybe something. I feel like something did happen, right? For whatever cancer energy I'm connecting to, that something happened to teach you how to balance your emotions better, right? Because I feel like that's kind of where you're heading, right? To be in this King of Cups energy, where you're very emotionally intelligent, right? The creativity, right? Imagine, because yeah, emotions, you could create like, I heard the word masterpieces. So maybe some of you cancers are painters or sculptors or something, right? You could create a lot of things with that energy that, you know, maybe if you would have wasted it worrying about something that wasn't meant to be or you thought was something that it wasn't. So I feel like this is kind of where spirit is pushing you, right? Very confident energy, very mature energy, right? Very emotionally balanced. So that's kind of what I'm getting, right? And that's, from being more in this. Oh, and there you are, right? Cancer, right? The poopy pants card. So from being in this energy to being in more of a, um, yeah, that makes sense, right? Third eye. Yeah. So I think that's kind of, let's see. I could pull. Yeah, see, so for some of you, this came out in reverse. So maybe some of you right now, because of there's something from the past that still has you kind of stuck, and you already have new opportunities, right? But you're just not looking at them because of that. So I feel like whatever thing has you stuck in your head right now, is blocking you, right? So once you realize that spirit did it for a reason. There was a lesson, right? Nothing is wasted, right? Everything has a reason. And I think that, for those of you that are resonating with this, when you come out of this, you're going to be in this amazing King of Cups energy, right? Very balanced, mature, right? Tons of creativity, confident, riqueza de con. Oh, wow. Yeah, even, financially secure, right? Yeah, interesting. Okay. So I feel like that's kind of the message there. So let me see what numbers come out. Wow. So 32. Hmm. 32 and 4. So maybe some of you are 32, 36. I don't know if you'd be born in 1932, if you'd still be. Yeah, I mean, you could still be. Yeah, you'd be like 90. I mean, I don't know if you'd still be watching like readings, but maybe. Um, maybe you're July 5th, July 9th, July 3rd, July 2nd. What else? I think that's it, right? Yeah. So July 4th, did I say that? July 4th. Maybe one of those numbers resonates, 32, 4. Let me know that if that did. But I think if I stopped the reading with that, I think that was what it's all about, right? Spirit has a plan. They want you to be happy. Maybe if that is an ancestor, right? A grandma, grandpa on the other side that's like, hey, I want you to be happy, and we're trying to push you in that direction. So make sure you don't stay in this right? From whatever happened, make sure you don't stay in this poopy pants energy because we got some beautiful things coming your way. But you have to, right, release whatever's kind of keeping you stuck. So I think that's kind of the message. I got chills big time as I said that. So I feel, oof, I got big time chills. So I feel like that's what it is. That's the overall message, is that someone on the other side is really looking out for you and they're trying to push you towards that sun, right? So, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes I forget to mention, obviously, right? Like we forget that there's like millions of, people with the same astrological sign. So, I mean, it could resonate, it could not sometimes, right? So it just depends. But okay, on that note, going into Cancer, Leo, right? Leo. So what spirit animal for Leo? Wow. Okay. So wow, maybe Leo was going through something too. Snake spirit, maybe you're a cusper with Cancer. Time to heal. Wow, snake spirit. 5 5. 5 is the number of change. 5 and 5 is 10, which is completion, right? Time to heal. So maybe you went through something and now it's time to heal. Leo. Right, that snake looks vicious too. It's a cobra, right? I don't know, it has a lot of things going on there. So all right, whoa. Ah man, it popped back in. Looked like Aries wanted to come out, but then it jumped back in. But then Capricorn came out, so yeah, maybe you're just focused on work now. Maybe that's part of some people heal while doing things, right? So, serious, authoritative, ambitious, realistic, structured, traditional, wise, enduring, accomplished, badass, majestic, competent, prepared, down to earth, corporate, reserved, rigid, discipline, right? So, maybe right now, wow, look at it. Someone like, look at their face, right? They're thinking a lot. Like, maybe, yeah, there was a lot to heal from, right? Maybe there was quite quite some things that happened and yeah, wow, I don't know, that never really jumped out at me that they look so sad, right? That usually doesn't jump out. I just always read like Capricorn the boss, bam, like, but this time that I'm looking at him, he looks all sad, so that's crazy. Delete, wow. Delete the text, block the number, reclaim your peace. So right now, yeah, time to heal. So whatever you were going through, maybe you hadn't taken that bold move to block, delete, reclaim your peace. Yeah, that's amazing. I like it. I won't go out. That made me think of a story, but I'm not gonna go into it. I'll just keep it moving. That's crazy. All right. Block, delete, reclaim your peace. Leo. Bam. Wow. The death card. So definitely bring an end to whatever it is. Time to heal. I don't think it could be any clearer than that. So yeah, maybe you need to block somebody, delete things, right? Maybe if you still have messages from someone that, you know, maybe it was a Capricorn. Maybe, Aries try to peek out. So, you know, um, maybe you have Aries in your chart. Maybe you have Capricorn in your chart. Wow, as I'm saying that, I don't even know how that came out. It just slid and it was an Aries. So maybe you were dealing with an Aries, Leo. That thing just slid out like right in front. That was so funny the way it slid out. So maybe you were dealing with an Aries, right? That was so funny because yeah, I wanted to peek out and then it jumped back in. So that's so funny. Ah, see, it might have been someone win at all costs. There's that five again, right? So someone that was just win at all costs. They didn't care about your feelings. They didn't care anything. It was just about win, 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 win. Oh, you're a Leo, Cindy? Okay, that makes sense. So you deleted and blocked. Nice. You are strong. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Ah. Okay. That's crazy. Whoa. Wow. Look at that, Leo. High Priestess. Wow. So, yeah, maybe you were getting nudges. I mean, maybe it took a little bit, right? You know? Maybe you were trying to give someone the benefit of the doubt, right? You were leading with your heart. But I think that maybe now it's undeniable, right? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of pain on the feminine side. So maybe your nurturing nature took over, right? You wanted to give someone the benefit of the doubt. You didn't want to just be cold and cut them out, right? It almost felt like you had to force yourself to do that, right? Maybe you were giving chances or something. Wow, yeah. Maybe you felt bound and you really weren't, right? Like, yeah. I feel like that it was a thing. Maybe they affected your confidence, right? Your solar plexus wasn't feeling as vibrant, right? Because the strength card is a healthy solar plexus. So something had you in your head, right? Maybe they talked down to you and made you believe it for a period, or just the things that they were doing, or, you know, it could have been a narcissistic energy, right? You could have been dealing with someone that had some narcissistic tendencies, covert narcissist, over narcissist, either or, right? Just, you know, yeah. Maybe they were very intelligent, right? Maybe they just knew what to say and it kind of kept you, it kind of kept you in sort of an illusion, right? Because they were very emotionally intelligent, right? And so that kind of goes with that narcissistic vibe, right? Someone that knows how to manipulate, right? With their words, maybe love bombing. That could have been a thing. I don't know. Wow, look at it as I split the deck. The devil, of course. So that definitely gives me narcissistic vibes. That's scary, right? Like, man, there's people that they're just great at but yeah, I feel like there it is, right? Healthy solar plexus. Maybe now you're taking action, right? There's that Sagittarius energy, so hopefully that doesn't mean Well, you said blocked and everything, then right for you at least, I know that. Yeah, right, blocking. So take it how it resonates. Either that's you taking action in a positive direction, right? Time to heal, right? Taking action to heal, or just be careful, right, with someone from the past trying to take action, come towards you. But I feel like if you already blocked them and everything, then you shouldn't really worry, right? So on that note, let's see. All right, let's see what numbers come out. Okay. So 64 and 5, right? Maybe you were born in 64. Maybe you were born in 69. Maybe August 6th, August 4th is significant, August 10th, August 15th, right? Maybe you're yeah, any of those, August 5th, August 4th, August 6th. So, yeah, let me know if any of that resonates and I'll go on to Virgo. Virgo. And I keep forgetting, yeah, I have an interview that I did that's really amazing, right? It's premiering at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so that will be 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it's pretty cool, right? My guest, she actually captured like a spirit, like you can't deny it. I edited it into the video. It was there, right? Like plain as day. They're tapped in too, so they were able to connect with the spirit and ask them questions. And then they asked people that work there, and then they confirmed it, yeah, that there's activity there. So yeah, I was honored that, they shared those pictures and I was able to put it into the interview. Yeah, it's like it's not even you don't have to squint your eyes to try to look at it. It's there, like bam. Right. So yeah, so tune in at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right? Okay. So who am I on now? Virgo. Okay, Virgo. Thank you, Cindy, for tuning in. Absolutely. Um, let's see. Virgo. Virgo. Wow. Virgo. This feels very deep and spiritual. Scarab beetle spirit. Scarab beetle spirit. Magic works through you. 52. Maybe you're someone, right, Virgo? You're one of those that have had like dreams of being in ancient Egypt or things like that, right? I don't know why that's what came through right now. I like this. That's very deep, right? It almost reminds me, right, of the hermit. Hermit is Virgo too, right? Being with the lantern through the hidden tunnels and caves and all that. So maybe that was you in a right, like a high priest, high priestess in a past life. Maybe even in this one, right? Let's see what else comes out. Whoa. Okay. Virgos are sometimes they make me work for the reading, right? Like Virgos are very secretive. Third house perception. Speech, thoughts, social media excursions, dating, siblings, research, street life. Whoa, Virgo, street life. Circulation, discussion surrounding sociability. Hmm. Well, right now is the time. Third house. Why? Well, the 33 jumped out at me. Maybe, right? Master teacher. Maybe you're, um, what is it called? Life path number 33. Or I forgot what number is like, could be a 33. Forgot. Okay. Okay. So maybe you were on one of these journeys that you thought you were with your twin flame, and it was like, he ain't your twin flame, he's your cautionary tale. So maybe you thought you had this twin flame connection, and right. I heard the phrase left you burning. Hopefully it doesn't mean in that way, left you burning. Hopefully it means they left you burning angrily, right? What's hey, spirit sometimes has a sense of humor. So I just heard someone that left you burning, but I feel like let's out, hey, yeah, take it how it resonates. But it was like someone left you burning with Yeah, like anger maybe, right? Or something like that was interesting. But maybe we all needed a good laugh. That's funny. Wow. So this jumped out too. And maybe, yeah, right? Maybe you are very tapped in. It said, yes, you're psychic. No, not that psychic. I don't think that's what it means. It's just, oh, I think I literally talked about that with my guest that how sometimes when things are close to us, even those of us that are tapped in, we just don't see it. I don't know if that's the agreement, right, from the other side. It's like you could read for other people, but when it comes to yourself, you just won't see it sometimes. So maybe that's what, maybe you were up in your head like, why didn't I see it? Why didn't I see the red flags? And I think this is just kind of still a sense of humor. Like, it's not that you're not tapped in. It's just sometimes the message I'm getting is that, yeah, I don't know why we don't get to see when things are happening to us. But I feel like you are tapped in. It's just, yeah, that's like this weird trick or joke from the universe, right? That So I wouldn't say take it personal. I feel like you are someone that's very tapped in, especially with this scarab that came out. I feel like you do have ancient wisdom, so don't. If you maybe that affected your confidence, right? Maybe you were like, "What? How can I be psychic or something?" And I didn't even get to see what happened to me. Like that doesn't even make sense, right? So okay, wow. See, Virgo makes me work for it. They don't want me to. Wow. See, there it is. Yeah, it really messed with your confidence, right? They tend to sorted you like crazy. Whoever you were connecting to, Virgo. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. So that makes sense. That makes sense why that came out, right? But now on the flip side, right? It feels like because of it, maybe you're meant to teach others, right? Maybe you're gonna teach others about, your journey. That's kind of, or maybe you're already on that journey, right? With that Seven of Pentacles. If not, a new opportunity is about to happen, or you're already on it, and that's why you didn't want me to pull the. You don't want everybody to know your business, right? Virgo, you're like, yeah, I'm already working on some stuff, but I don't want everybody to know. So sorry for you know, throwing that out there, Virgo. Okay. I mean, hey, I guess that I could probably end it there. If Virgo wants to be secretive, then I could respect your uh, you know. Wow, yeah. So I feel like you were in the hangman mode, but wow, again, look at that. So you've really been working on your finding. There it is again, Virgo, right? So maybe you're still in a hangman mode about not wanting people to know what you got going on, but maybe you're meant to. That's kind of what I'm getting. See, because my throat is firing up like almost like something that's meant to be shared, but you're just not wanting to. Maybe because everything you went through, you're scared something might happen again. Someone might take advantage of you or something, right? Maybe they'll try to use you for your resources. The tower. Yeah. Hmm. I feel like this could be connected to the past. I got chills. This could be connected to the past, or it's gonna be a tower that forces you like to come out of that hermit mode, right? Because yeah, maybe to get to this Queen of Pentacles, let's say you started something, right? The world needs to hear, or how are you gonna get more business, right? How are you gonna get more clients? Maybe that's that tower moment. You've kind of come to this yeah, this standstill, right? So in order for you, and here, they're telling you, right? Look at that. Bam. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, right? So these new ideas, maybe that's what it's gonna be. Maybe collaborating with others with this Three of Pentacles, maybe learning how to, right? Going to school to learn how to uh like manage a business better, or learning from others how to do that, or collaborating, right? Oh, there's that three again. Wow. So yeah, maybe something with that three. Hmm. Maybe someone has the know-how about how to manage social media and you don't, so you need to collaborate. So you're gonna have to kind of take a leap of faith, right? That's kind of why you've been in a hangman mode, because you do need to. And I think that's that tower moment that's hitting is that you're kind of stuck right now because of past pains. You don't want to trust right now, but you kind of need to take that next I don't know. I heard like scaffolding, right? For you to keep climbing up, you have to kind of do that. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I like it, right? So it seems like you're doing great, right? Not that you should be grateful to whoever, you know, left you burning, but you know, I don't know how I'm trying to say that in a playful way because hopefully it's not that, but whatever, right? Okay. So maybe this means something to you, right? Maybe you're September 12th, uh, September 8th, September 4th. Maybe you're 48, maybe you're 84, take it out. Maybe you were born in 84, 1984. So take that how it resonates, Virgo. Yeah, let me know if it resonates or don't because yeah, that was interesting, right? And I know you wanted to be secretive. So who's next after Virgo? Libra, right? Okay. But like I'm going super slow today, so let me try to speed up. Libra, Libra, Libra. Got plenty of time. Oh wow. It's 143 as I looked at the clock. So, 143, back in the days, right? For those that remember, it used to be the I love you text, right? 143. So maybe that's for everybody. Maybe that's for Libra, right? Maybe there's love on your mind right now. So it's funny that as I looked at the clock, and I know my clock's wrong. So it's funny that it was 143. I don't know if this has ever came out. Beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation. So that feels very Libra-ish. I don't think this has ever came out. Beaver spirit? Lay a solid foundation, six. So maybe you're trying to, right? Six is the number of like, homes, sometimes pregnancy. Maybe you're trying to establish, right? It feels very like four of wands too, right? Like happy home, happy life kind of thing, stable. So yeah, maybe right now that's kind of your spirit guide animal, right? Maybe you could tap into that. If you're having trouble building a solid foundation, maybe you could tap into some of that beaver spirit energy. Yeah, it's funny how I had the image right now of a beaver like chopping wood when they're creating the little dams like for the river and stuff. I guess that's how they. Oh wow, this feels very very Libra-ish too, right? Sex to opportunity. So maybe there's an opportunity that comes in and collaborates, assists, explains. Wow, that maybe that's why the love thing came out. Collaborates, assists, explains, provides opportunities, synergizes, creates possibilities for, opens doors, promises, brings insight to, communicates, welcomes, develops. Sextile opportunity. Hmm. I gotta start reading the book for this numinous deck because I still don't know what all these things completely mean, right? Like sextile and all these other things. The first house, second house, third house. So I gotta learn all that. Okay. Libra, let me keep it moving. That's funny because when I did the Aries reading, I started sweating and stuff, and nobody else's reading has done that. So I think it was all the energy from that reading. That's pretty crazy. What? What is this about? Stamp. It's just denial. Soul contract denied. You're not in a soul contract. You're in denial. Wow. Libra. Well, that's funny how the 143 and it's like you have love on the mind. Maybe there's something that let's look a little more into that because that's I don't think that's for every Libra. Maybe just some, right? Maybe there was a connection that you felt like, no, I'm on a soul contract. Maybe right now is a good time to cut cords with this blue moon, right? Cut cords. Okay, yeah, that's not. I feel like it's maybe you were in a connection or you're still in a connection that's preventing you. You should be in this Nine of Pentacles energy, right? But because you're in this, oh no, I'm still attached to someone and it came out in reverse. That's crazy. But I could see it felt like it wanted to come out like right side up, but yeah. I mean, that might be for some of you, right? Maybe some of you are already in a Nine of Pentacles, but for those of you that are, being attached to the wrong person could affect you financially, absolutely, right? And that's funny that right, the sextile came out with the canvas, right, to the painting, right, to paint. So obviously, right, it's the sacral chakra. So that means it's not a healthy sacral chakra at this moment, which is your creativity. So maybe this thing, whatever you're connected to, that's funny that I said this thing that you're connected to is preventing you from. Whoa. Look at that. Wow. Ten of Swords. Something has you in denial. Wow. I mean, that's crazy to me that you would be 10, that you would like, you would be 10 of sworded. I don't know how, if that's how you say it. 10 of swords, sorted. And you would still be like, no, this is my person, even though they 10 of sorted you. That's pretty interesting. Wow. Okay. So whatever Libra I'm connecting to, why? Question why? Why would you? Wow, 10 of sorted, 3 of sorted, and why would you think that this is like almost that, right? Like no, I was meant to do this, right? I mean, I was meant to go through this. I'll just say because it popped in my head. It's true, and it actually is true that, yeah, sometimes we could have memories of we were with someone in a connection from a past life, and maybe you did something to them in a past life. So you feel like, oh, well, in this life, I'm supposed to suffer because, yeah, I had visions or I went to a past life regression. They told me that I did this to this person. So now I got to take all this abuse, really, because 10 of Swords and 3 of Swords is like, geez. And you being like, no, this is part of our soul contract. Like, come on. Right. So, I mean, look at that. Even this ghost is like, what are you doing? Whatever spirit, your ancestor, some spirit guide. One of my spirit guides came to me in my dream the other day and they told me straight out that they were my spirit guides. So that was pretty interesting. I had never seen them before. But oh wow, look at that. Poopy pants, even. So it's not so like oh, yeah. Not only is there denial, but it's like a no, like is Libra a fixed sign? I don't even think Libra's I think Aquarius is the fixed air sign, right? Maybe that you lied to yourself that oh maybe you did get a past life regression and you're like, no, I did that to them. Or even in this life, maybe you were with someone before, you cheated on them, so then you got back together and then now they do all these things and you're like, oh, well, I did this to them in the past, so I got to take it. Something that's making you just, yeah, which is just crazy, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Definitely didn't expect that, Libra. I think Libras are usually way better at moving on than this. And see, that's what they're saying. You need strength right now. So maybe I don't make friends with a Leo that might be a very confident Leo that it'll show you like, here, look at this is how you just yeah, no, right? I don't know what. Maybe all those swords in your back and heart took away that strength from you, and you don't feel confident anymore. Or like you deserve better. I don't know, but yeah, you need strength, right? Maybe this blue moon is that miracle, right? Maybe in this once in a blue moon, because it feels like it's something you've been stuck in for a while. For them to be able to stick 3 swords in your heart, 10 swords in your back, like you've been at this for the lovers in reverse, even like, geez. See, and this is the choice, right? So obviously, I don't know why you're not making like a healthy choice for yourself. This is crazy. I even heard right now in my head, they just told me for some of you, it might be addictions. Imagine having a soul contract with addictions. That's crazy. Like, not to be mean or nothing, but I don't know, right? That's weird. Okay, okay. I know I'm taking long because this got interesting, but um, yeah, Libra. I feel like someone on the other side is rooting for you, but at the same time, they're just like, oh man, like they don't even want to watch anymore. They're just like, I can't watch. Wow. I mean, it's not exactly a tower moment, but it's kind of like maybe finally a conflict will happen, right? Oh, there's that Leo energy, right? Maybe you do befriend the Leo and they're like, you know what? I'm sticking up for you if you're not gonna stick up for yourself, or they do show you how to fight back. Like be like, you know what? No, this isn't right. And then the nine of cups, right? Not 10 of cups, but nine is wishes granted, right? So maybe, and there, see, now it's a healthy sacral chakra, right? Not like what was it? The nine of pentacles in reverse. So yeah, there's so many. Wow, I pulled way too many cards for you. So I'll end it with that. So this is what they're trying to push you for, right? Like towards this whole blue moon thing is about you finding that strength, finding your. I feel like you're gonna need assistance, right? So maybe there's a friend you could confide in and just tell them like, hey, you know what? I've been acting a little, you know, not right in my mind because there's no reason I should be staying in this situation. Well, I even felt like the stress in the. Okay, so October 8th, October 11th, October 3rd, right? Maybe you're born in 83. Maybe you're 38. Maybe you're 83. So take it how it resonates, right? Maybe you were born in 1938. I don't know. I hope not. I hope you wouldn't be going through this much drama and right? Maybe that's why, huh? You're like, I can't leave him anymore. I'm 83 years old. What am I gonna go do? I don't know, right? That's crazy. Okay, so on that note, Libra, thank you for the interesting situation there. Let's go on to Sagittarius. All right. I should have done Sagittarius since it was like a blue moon in Sagittarius. I should have done Sagittarius second or something. All right, so Sagittarius. What? That is crazy. Wow, you got the same as Virgo. Scarab beetle. Magic works through you. Wow, that makes sense, right? Maybe this blue moon in your sign is gonna unlock something. Maybe ancient wisdom that you had hidden, right? Hidden ancient wisdom is gonna come to light because of this blue moon in your sign, right? You're gonna have some kind of upgrade or you're already going through it. So magic works through you, Sagittarius. All right. I like that. I like like that a lot. Okay. Who says that? I like it a lot. Is that like Dumb and Dumber or something? Maybe you like that Dumb and Dumber. Wow, transformation. So yeah. Maybe something's been bubbling up and boom, the volcanic eruption. Renewal, inner resources, basic instinct, motivation, personal power, evolution, composting, cycles, death, rebirth, subversion, suspicion, obsession, intensity, reckoning, taboos, clearing, and extremes. So maybe you had to go through a little, right? Throwing things away, cutting cords, cutting ties with old things, transformation, Pluto. All right. I like that. Right? Because Pluto is even Scorpio energy, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if the death card pops out. Well, let's see. Wait, did I skip Scorpio? Oh, I skipped Scorpio. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna finish because I started Sagittarius, so I'm just gonna go through it. But yeah, my bad, Scorpio. Wow, you're like, you skip me, I'm gonna throw myself into Sagittarius's reading. Oops. Okay, let me finish. Wow. All these cards just jumped out. I don't know. Scorpio got mad. Okay, this is interesting. This is too many cards, actually. Ah, all right. Since the moon's in your sign, so one card that came out for you, Sagittarius. This is sacred space, boundary. So maybe right now they're not mean. They're just spiritual fences, right? So maybe right now you're holding up your boundaries. That's great, right? Perfect. So be careful this full moon. Don't make any bad decisions, right? The full moon is not an excuse for bad decisions, right? So if there's any kind of temptation or something, it's going to be on you. You're not blaming the moon, right? You're not going to blame the astrology. Wow. Your ancestors did not survive place for you to text your ex. What? Hey, I miss you. And then they're like, nope, don't. That is crazy. Look at so. Wow. So I guess they see something coming, maybe, right? Maybe Sagittarius. Yeah, you already have your boundary up, but yeah, if something comes in, no excuses. No excuses. Wow. Look at that. That is crazy. So no drunk text, no nothing like that, right? On your part. And if someone does message you, right? Yeah. There was another one that popped out, but nah, that's too many already. Three was fine. Ah, fine. I feel like I was supposed to. Like my throat was kind of so yeah, maybe you were kind of on a it says you're not behind, you're just on a side quest, number 47. So maybe that's significant, right? Sagittarius, so honorable mention, right? So yeah, maybe there was something that felt like it took longer than it should have, but you were just on a side quest, so you're not behind. Okay. What else? What else? Wow, 10 of cups. So there it is, Sagittarius. Don't go backwards, right? Don't you dare, right? Your ancestors didn't survive plagues for you to text your ex, right? So it looks like yeah, wow, you're not behind. You were just on a side quest, right? Whatever you had to learn, right? Maybe you were in I heard relationship from house, so I'm just gonna say it. Maybe you were in a crazy situation, so you could, appreciate things. Yeah, things coming in, right? You'll be more appreciative of, wow, even, yeah. I feel like maybe in the past you were, uh-oh, what is that about? That's not what I want. Wow, okay. That makes a little more sense, right? Okay. Hmm. No, interesting. Okay, I got a story here, so I'm just gonna say it how I see it, right? So maybe someone is gonna reach out to you, right? But I think you still have the memory of what that felt like with the nine of wands, right? Sagittarius, there you are. So you already fought too many battles, right? Not only you, but your bloodline. Maybe you were like the generational curse breaker, right? Or the generational, right? You're healing all the generational trauma. Maybe it's been 9 generations of craziness and you're the one to balance it out. Perseverance, right? Or just in this life, you've experienced that, right? So you feel like there's a choice, and it's funny. It almost feels like, yeah, maybe action is there. You are again, Sagittarius. Maybe someone from the past is gonna come in and act like they have an offer for you, but see, it's all based on they hold all the power, right? It's not a very balanced connection, right? Even though it's a four, it's funny, right? It's almost like that illusion of but yeah, see the way their feet are on it, they're holding it, it's on their crown, right? Like it's just everything about this is about someone else having all the power, right? The beautiful thing is if you don't fall for that, not only did you have the 10 of cups, but now the 10 of pentacles even jumps out, right? So that's amazing. And the justice card. So it's something very balanced, very just because it's deserved, right? The scales are balanced in your favor because it's owed to you for, dealing with what you had to deal. Oh, yeah, I felt like a pain right here. Dealing with what you had to deal with. Yeah, right? Um, but it's almost like you better make sure you pass this whatever test is coming in, right? The full moon is not an excuse to make bad decisions. So I think on that note, I could end it there. Let's see. So maybe seven is significant. Sagittarius, maybe your birthday is 12/3, 12/4, 12/7. Maybe you're 34, maybe you're 43, right? Maybe, yeah, maybe you're 1943, even 1934, whatever, however that resonates. Okay. So, Scorpio, my apologies for skipping over you, but I'm gonna do you next. So, yeah. Hey, Adrian, how's it going? So, Scorpio, once again, yeah, my bad for skipping over you. Let's see what wants to come in for Scorpio. Why do I always, man, this is probably like the third time I think. Wow. Parrot, watch your words, 45. But I love it, right? The parrot to me is like the happiest, one of the happiest spirit animals that could appear, right? So I love the parrot. But who knows? Maybe right now, right? I know Scorpios, if you make them mad enough, right, they'll throw that stinger at you, right? So maybe it is a warning to watch your words right now during this time. So once in a blue moon, you're being asked to watch your words, right? Once in a blue moon. Every other day, you don't have to. But today, they're asking you to watch your. Wow, Pisces energy, your fellow water sign, the mystic. Huh. Imaginative, compassionate, healing, empathetic, mystical, adoring, magical, allowing, dreamy, ephemeral, enigmatic, spiritual, emotional, escapist, and practical, oceanic, self-pitying, illogical. So obviously it has the positives and not so positives. But maybe you're feeling maybe you have Pisces in your chart or you're in that kind of energy right now. Scorpio. So maybe that's why I watch your words, right? Because I've known some Pisces and that would make sense, right? Watch your words, because yeah, that's interesting. So maybe if you're in that energy right now, wow, what is that? Maybe you're irritated with somebody else. Look at manifestation works better without the bare minimum effort. Maybe that's why, right? Maybe you have a roommate and you're like, man, this roommate isn't carrying their weight, or you're in a partnership that someone else isn't carrying their weight and you're just like ready to, wow. Yeah, because I don't know. That's what came to mind. I don't even feel like that was so much your energy, but take it out resonates. If either they're telling you you need to put in more work, or I mean, but that's why it will make sense to watch your words. If you're dealing with someone that's not, maybe they're that kind of person, right? Oh, I'm gonna manifest this. I'm gonna manifest my part of the rent, right? And you're like, yeah, you're ready to explode, and you're like, all right, mm. That's funny that that's what came out and money, right? And that's what I'm talking about. King of Swords could be very blunt, right? Hmm. Interesting. Okay, let's dig a little deeper into that. Why the guess watch your words. Clarify a little more with the watch your words. Oh wow, okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Twice? Like that's crazy. So yeah, maybe it's not even worth, maybe you'll get it out. You'll tell someone how you feel, but it's like the clear choice is walking away, right? Going towards calmer waters. It's not even worth the breath to express something, right? It's just a waste of energy, really. And that's probably what this blue moon is showing you, right? Maybe you were, I don't know, why would you be stuck in a situation? Yeah, maybe you had a roommate, maybe a job that you did more than you should have, right? Like maybe that's the lesson for you to, yeah, right? Maybe there's a partnership, right? Either romantic or business wise that someone just wasn't holding up their own. Wow, yeah. And maybe that's kind of the blue moon energy of you seeing that. Why are you gonna fight over it? Or wow, and look at that. What as I'm saying that, right? Maybe a relationship, maybe a business. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't even see that. The two of cups came out, but look at that. This is the marriage card in reverse. This could be one of two ways. Either, you're leaving one thing for a better connection, right? Maybe there is a new partnership coming in, right? A stronger one. Or it is that, right? Something you thought was a good partnership, good relationship, good, right? Is now showing the truth, right? And maybe there was a little divine intervention that, yeah, right? The Sagittarius energy. Maybe this Sagittarius full moon is finally showing you that, nah, for whatever reason you felt that it was, right? But it's good. It's almost like there's a positive energy about it. It's not, that's why it's like watch your words. You don't need to fight about it. You don't need to nothing, right? Because even this says, right? Like it's almost like not letting someone steal your peace. Spiritual and positive, like mentality, right? Spiritually and mentally positive. Yeah, Sagittarius energy. So I feel like that's what it is, right? Scorpio, it's about, let's see. Let me see if this Two of Cups is more like if there is something new coming in, or it's just that, yeah, you thought this was some kind of, wow. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I feel like it was maybe you lied to yourself, right? With this, yeah, because the Seven of Swords came out. So maybe they made you believe. Maybe they tricked you into thinking that, so you could have lied to yourself, or they tricked you into making you think that this was a legit partnership. And now that maybe this moon is showing you the truth, right? The illusion's being shown, like it's being made clear that no, it was all lies, right? Someone that always promised to hold their end of the bargain or carry their weight and sold you on the idea that, yeah, this is a partnership like made in heaven kind of thing, right? And it was all lies. Seven of Swords, right? Yeah. So okay. Yeah, someone that like gave bare minimum kind of thing or something. All right. So yeah, maybe wow, this came out with someone else, right? 83. Maybe you were born in 83, maybe you're 38, Scorpio, maybe November 3rd, November 8th, November 11th, right? Oh, 11/11. Hmm. Maybe they were a fellow Scorpio, right? 11/11. You were like, oh, see, we're twin flames or something, whether romantically or partnership wise or something, who knows, right? But yeah. So let me know if any of that resonates. So on that note, I already did Sagittarius, Scorpio, Capricorn, right? Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Wow, that was interesting. But I mean, hey, I heard that saying that you could fool some other people some of the time, but you can't fool everyone all the time. Is that how it goes? So I guess it's just this blue moon is probably, I didn't expect that about the blue moon, that it was about showing the truths, right? But I guess it makes sense, right? Truths being illuminated. Ah, this is a special moon, huh? I didn't even realize how special it is. Guess as I'm connecting to these energies, I'm like, wow, this moon is really showing things. Man, I've been having so many dreams. It's crazy. Like just yeah, yeah. I filled up a whole page with just the dreams I had last night, so that's crazy. Okay. Wow. So Capricorn, starfish spirit, open to infinite possibilities. So maybe this is a good time to be you. 59, starfish spirit. In my mind's eye, I just saw like a starfish under the blue moon, right? I know the moon isn't actually blue, but I saw it like that, right? Like the blue lighting of the moon, right on the starfish. That's crazy. I'm seeing like a whole cartoon in my mind. Like I've seen a starfish getting up and walking around. That's funny. 59. Okay, so maybe 59 is significant to you, Capricorn. That's funny. Okay. Okay. Fifth house. Hmm. Starfishes and watermelon and carnival rides. Five, the number of change, right? Passion. So maybe right now, open to infinite possibilities. Maybe you're feeling passionate about something. Performance, entertainment, creativity, costume, play, love affairs, joy, pleasure, parties. That's funny. Pleasure and parties. Uh-oh. What kind of stuff are you into, Capricorn? Children, humor, romance, disco ball. That's funny. I just saw some show that had like a disco ball. Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so let me see. I'm hearing all these funny things in my head. I'm not gonna say them because they're a little too. But okay, Capricorn, Capricorn. Whoa, that was fast. Whoa, what is that about? That doesn't even kind of go with the other energy, but I'll settle. Your vibration is yelling, I'll settle. So maybe that's some of you, because that's very opposite of this beautiful starfish spirit energy, right? And this passion, right? Maybe for some of you, you feel like you've gone too many times on this merry-go-round of life or whatever this thing is called, this carnival ride, and you're just like, there, you know what? I'm exhausted. I'll settle. But let's see what they want to tell you, because yeah, maybe this is kind of like a blue moon miracle, right? Maybe you feel like, I'm never gonna meet Mr. or Mrs. Right, and maybe that's what it is, right? Like a when you wish upon a star kind of thing, right? So, wow, there's a nostalgia. But that's funny that this came out, the Five of Swords with the nostalgia. That feels like a settling. Wow, that feels right because it's like nostalgia. What, settling for someone that was win at all costs, that didn't care about your feelings? Has it gotten that bad? Like, are you going through like one of those lonely where you're like, you know what, I'll settle. This is probably that's I don't know what's up with that. Like, was that all right? Come on, let's get some good news for Capricorn, right? Because what is that about? Mm. Okay, that feels I usually don't I won't pull things like when they're sideways, but the Wheel of Fortune came out sideways clearly, right? Because it feels like that. It's your choice. See, if you're over here wanting to settle for things from the past, then yeah, that Wheel of Fortune is gonna run over you, right? That's funny. That it looks like a little devil, and Capricorn is like the devil, right? So you could give into that lower side, or you could step into that other kind of Sphinx energy, right? Yeah. So it'll either be a 10 completion, right? Turning in a positive way. And that's kind of what it feels like. See, like someone rushing in, right? Whether this is you or someone from the past, and then you're like, okay, I'll settle. Or this is you, like, no, I got to go back and get this person because I can't get anything else, right? But I feel like if you're patient, right? The world's in the palm of your hands and you're just not seeing it for whatever reason, right? With the third eye, quizás is maybe. So maybe you're not really seeing, right? Just you got fatigue or something, right? And then, right, if you're only patient, like the Queen of Pentacles, it's an abundant time, and the Wheel of Fortune turns in your favor. And that's why it's sideways because it's a choice, right? The same. This is a not only a quizás card, a maybe card, but it was even sideways, right? It was very obvious that it jumped out sideways, right? Like perfectly. So I was like, all right, I could see you want me to take you sideways. So, yeah. But if you're over here, yeah, it seems like your wish would be granted, right? When you wish upon a star, right? I don't know the rest, but when you wish upon a star, blah blah blah, blue blue blue. So, you know, yeah, that's kind of your blue moon magic. But yeah, are you gonna give in? That's kind of the thing. I feel like some of you will, and you're gonna start a whole nother cycle on this spinny thing, right? And this feels like such a positive card, right? It looks like a very beautiful, vibrant card, right? But in this case, it's like just having fatigue and not wanting to. Wow, see, with the moon. So it could go one of two ways. Either the moon showing you, illuminating just how vibrant, charismatic you are, how much you deserve, right? With that Queen of Wands energy, Leo is also the strength card, all that solar plexus energy, right? Someone that's very confident in who they are. They even have that yellow on their crown, right? Like very, all standing in your truth, confident, right? That's that solar plexus energy. And the moon is either going to illuminate that or it's going to be the illusion of shrinking yourself, right? That no, that's all you deserve, right? All you deserve is that past situation. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah. So it's all on you, right? There's a few maybe things there, right? So it's all about you choosing in this case, right? The Wheel of Fortune could turn in your favor or it could turn opposite, right? And that's the thing is, right? Sometimes it is like that, right? The spirit world, the universe, that's part of our thing. It's about that journey. So we don't get to see the end, right? And we want to see the end, but but this is like a hint right here. I mean, this is as close to seeing the end, right? So maybe you're 42, right? Maybe, hey, the first thing that popped in my head was the 42 laws of Ma'at. I don't know why that would be significant, but look that up. Uh, whoa, I already put everything away. So, okay. So 42, maybe you're 24, maybe 24, maybe you're January 2nd, January 4th, January 6th, right? Maybe you're 42, maybe you're 24, maybe you were, no, not born in 24. You'd be 102 years old. Yeah, so maybe you're not, right? Or I'd be flattered if you're watching this at 102 years old. Yeah, so any of those might make sense, right? So thank you, Capricorn. Who's next? Who's next? Aquarius, right? So that's it, right? Aquarius, then Pisces, and that's it, right? Okay, let's get her done, cause yeah. Oh, 222. As I looked up at the clock, and there's two left, right? Aquarius and Pisces, and it's 222 on the clock, and I know that my clock isn't right. So Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. That one jumped out, but then it jumped back in. Should I? Okay, well, too bad I put it back in. Whoa. Okay. Well, I love this one too. So maybe that for you right now, Aquarius, know your worth. Skunk spirit. I know this came out for someone else, right? Skunk also reminds me of the Unk, which they talk about the breath of life, right? 54. So, I mean, that could be your age. That could be the year you were born in. Take it how it resonates. Skunk spirit, know your worth, right? The skunk is, yeah, the most confident. I feel like it's the most confident spirit animal, right? It'll go up against a bear, everything. I already talked about it, so I won't. I think I even have a spirit animal video about the skunk, so you could go watch that if you want to learn a little bit more about the skunk. So yeah, I love the skunk. Ascendant, wow. Outlook, worldview, mission statement, expression, effect, role, mark, attitude, outer self, point of view, body image, aura, likeness, approach, impact, first impression. So maybe right now it's important. Um, wow, that almost looked like it's a scratch in the card, but it looked like a shooting star. I was like, what? Um, yeah, so maybe right now that's important for you, right? You know your purpose, right? You got the key that unlocks that for some reason. I heard Hecate. Maybe you know who Hecate is, right? Maybe you've recently tapped into that kind of energy. But right now you feel like you need to express something because I kind of felt like something in the throat, like where you're getting ready to, yeah, like that, right? Like it's kind of like that, pulling out your wardrobe, like that whole "I'm coming out" song, right? Like showing the world who you are, right? Maybe you're a good dancer, so I don't know if that resonates. I don't know. I saw someone like in a dress dancing in my head or something, right? Like something like that. Like I don't know, tango or cumbias or something. I don't know. It's interesting. It's very. It was so distinct. I don't know. Oh, whoa. All right. Aquarius. Two of them just flew out like in opposite direction. So that was very. And one fell face down. So I'm gonna take them. So this one came out on the right side. Seriously, your spirit guides are face palming. Wow. So what have you been doing that your spirit guides are going crazy with? And this came out on the left side. Maybe they're busy. What? If they wanted to, they would. Have you been waiting on somebody? Wow. Is that why? Because there's something about. Maybe that's why finally, maybe you were waiting on somebody and finally you're starting to know your worth. Oh, no, your worth. Duh. Wow. Wow. So maybe you were waiting for somebody, right? That is crazy. And this one that felt. Wow. This one felt face. Look at that. Listen. Your intuition isn't ghosting you. You're just not listening. Wow. And then my throat got itchy too. Like something's been trying to communicate with you. So maybe if you haven't done this already, they're trying to like tell you to get out there. Mission statement. Maybe you need to write out a mission statement for yourself, right? That'll help you kind of see who you're meant to be. I mean, I'm sure maybe you already know, but maybe you need to write it down and read it or something, right? So I don't know. Let me know if that resonates. Okay. I don't know why I get a little more like when I'm at the last, like I'm already like, okay, there, let me. Wow. Okay. That makes sense. I don't know if your guides are approving of that, but that makes sense. Ah, okay. Hmm. I think that your guides see you as someone that's very knowledgeable. You could teach others, right? very intuitive. You have a lot of compassion. Maybe that's where you've gone, not that you've gone wrong, right? But too much empathy, right? So you've allowed certain people to take more energy from you than you should have, right? With that, right? Waiting for somebody that, oh, maybe they're not, they're just busy, right? That's why they're not getting back to me. Oh, you're welcome, internal intentions. I don't know which, I barely looked up, so I don't know if it was with this reading or which one did I just do? Capricorn. I don't know if it's with the Aquarius or Capricorn, but yeah. So I think that they see you like this, and maybe but it's funny because these two came out and 33 jumped out at me. So maybe you're meant to be, right? Like I forgot again what it's called, like a master teacher, right? 33. But there's like, yeah, once you get rid of this energy, right? If someone had you waiting around, right? There's celebrations. It's just grabbing, like, the one symbolizes like a path, right? Both third eye cards, right? So that's pretty interesting. Maybe you have Aries in your chart. Maybe they want you to step into that Aries energy. And there's that, yeah, I don't know if you have Cancer in your chart too, right? This is Cancer. This is Cancer. Oh, they're all third eye cards. Wow. So that makes sense. The 33. So I feel like you're someone that is very knowledgeable, but maybe you've just been compassionate with the wrong people. And I feel this like kind of burden on the neck, right? So I feel like yeah, you shouldn't put your head down for nobody, right? Like not in this sense. Oh, and look at what comes out. Someone that has their head held high. That's so funny, right? Because even though this person's compassionate, something I don't know, it just stood out to me the way like. But in this case, it's like no, it's time to get out there, right? And look at that kind of goes with this whole, you know, getting your Sunday best on and being optimistic. There's that Sagittarius. So maybe during this blue moon in Sagittarius, that's kind of the message that needed to pop out, right? That optimism, getting back out there, right? Throwing on your yellow boots, those famous yellow boots, right? Oh, and there's that wand, right? So see, they chose that wand. They know they grabbed that path, right? Like they chose the path. Yeah, so there it is. Bam, it makes sense that this came out next, right? Yeah, so starting a new journey. I feel like that's kind of what it is. And it's yeah, for you it's very like knowing your worth, whether you're very knowledgeable, you have a lot to teach others, right? To me the skunk is beautiful, right? Like if you ever see it, like I've observed skunks, and then when they saw me, like it was like, wait a second, like I guess because I startled it, like it went on defense mode and it threw its little tail up, like, hey, I could spray you, and I'm like, hey, I know, like I believe you, so it's cool, don't spray me. And yeah, it was funny the little dance they were doing though, right? They're very graceful, but they're little warriors too, right? So what else? Anything else? I think that's the message, very to the point. Yeah, see, nothing wants to come out. No, okay, so maybe yeah. Once you hop on this road, yeah, yeah, and the five, right? So maybe new, right? Kind of like that, right? Married to spirit, kind of. Sometimes I get that vibe, and that's kind of what I'm getting here, right? Because with the 33 and everything, maybe a new connection, five, right? The number of change. So yeah, right? Yeah, education, sabiduría, right? So knowledge and also teaching others, right? Enseñanza and doing what's right. That's funny that it says that. So and maybe that's part of that Cancer energy, right? Maybe that compassion, but you're doing it for where it's appreciated, right? So that makes sense. So yeah, on that note, yeah, that's perfect. And didn't I say that my throat was, and that's the throat chakra, but it's a maybe, right? So see, it's up to you. Like you have to take that step towards your new journey, right? And that's funny, the throat chakra. So you're gonna be teaching others, speaking, all that stuff, right? So okay. So last but not least, Pisces. Oh, wait, your numbers, Aquarius. Wow. So 64 might be significant. Maybe you were born in 64, 66. Maybe February 10th, February 12th, February 6th, right? Maybe some of those numbers are significant. Maybe you're 10, 12. I already said that, right? So, yeah. Let me know if any of those numbers resonate. 6, 6, 12, um 10, February 2nd, any of those things. Okay. So, now Pisces, last but not least, Pisces. Yeah. And I know I said it earlier, but yeah, I have interview premiering at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it was an amazing interview. Great storyteller. My guest has been experiencing things since she was little. She even shared some pictures of some actual ghosts that appeared when she was at some place. The workers confirmed it that there's activity in that place. And yeah, I was able to show it right during the interview. I put it in there so you could see it's not like something you got to squint your eyes at or nothing. Like it's clear as day. You could see this spirit, right? So, it's beautiful to be able to see these things, right? So, just in case people doubt, well, there it is, right? You don't have to doubt anymore. Wow, Pisces, I love this. Vulture spirit, 63, which is 9 as well, right? 6 3 is 9, which is Andine's vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted, right? So the vulture is the golden purifier. I also have videos about this as a spirit animal, so you could check that out if you want to know more about the vulture, right? Uh, I, it's one of my favorite spirit animals. Every time I've gone through something and I purge and I go through this whole journey, the vulture will appear and it's like cleaning out the last residue, right? Wow, and this jumped out with it too, right? So snake spirit, time to heal. So since you're the last one, I'll do an honorable mention, right? Because it goes with it, right? Nothing is wasted, right? Really, whatever journey you were on, it wasn't for nothing, right? So, really clearing out that energy, right? Healing and then clearing out, right? The vulture comes in to completely help you get a new death and rebirth, right? Death and rebirth. I think the vulture is connected to Scorpio too, right? The death and rebirth energy. So, all right. Whoa, you got this too? That's funny. Who else got this right now? I forgot. Was it Capricorn? Fifth house passion. Performance, entertainment, creativity, costume, play, love affairs, joy, pleasure, parties, children, humor, romance, disco ball. So maybe you have Capricorn in your chart. Was it Capricorn? I don't know. But yeah, hopefully it's not the same because I like that card. It feels very positive, but then it was about like it was about being stuck in something, right? That's what like going on that kind of carnival ride. Wow. So maybe for you it's different, but maybe you've been kind of stuck on a ride where, yeah, you've been, and rather than working on yourself, you're over here trying to be everyone else's emotional support wizard, or they're throwing you into that, right? Fix this. I'm sad. Fix this. Help me. And I guess they're asking you now to be like, hey, I only got so much energy, right? Oh, really? Wow, it was the first card that came out for Pisces on the Wow, okay. So there's the consistency there of Pisces needing to or going through that transformation, right? Maybe being on the tail end of that and asking Vulture to come in and really clean that out, right? No, nothing residual, right? Yeah, so that makes sense. You are not everyone's emotional support wizard. So maybe there's some of that too, right? Maybe it's about putting those boundaries up after, right? If you had to put up some boundaries, maybe it's about that. Look at Maybe it daily horror. Maybe it's a sign. Don't make it a message just because it was inconvenient. What? And look at that. That looks like a Pisces sign almost, right? Isn't it? With the coffee spill? That's crazy. Where's the Pisces sign? I know that's like the Pisces sign. That's funny though. Maybe it's a sign. What it is in this case. I don't know what you're talking about. Uh card thing, but hey, maybe not everything is a sign. So hey, if that's the message they want to give you, maybe not everything is a sign. So okay, take that how it resonates. I mean, I get it, right? I've spilled my coffee and I've thought that briefly, like, oh man, maybe it's a sign I'm not supposed to drink coffee. And of course, I still go get another cup of coffee. So maybe not everything is a sign, right? But maybe it is. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Wow. A lot of sword energy. So maybe things did have you up in your head, right? Maybe not everything is a sign. Maybe you were, oh, there's that nine again, right? The 6-3 was a nine. I don't know. This Knight of Swords. I don't know if this King of Swords could be your energy right now, and the Knight of Swords is someone wanting to rush in, and maybe that's kind of that boundary you're supposed to have about like, hey, I'm not fixing everything for you, you know? Someone trying to test your boundaries after you already have them up. Maybe that's part of it, right? Don't feel like, oh, everything's a sign I'm supposed to help this person. I'm gonna share this real quick just because it happened. Once, right? I had someone from the past come back to my life, and I was like, nope, nope, you can't come in. Nope, nope, nope. Like that's it. And then they took a step back and they stepped in dog poop. And just because of that, I was like, it's a sign. I guess I'm supposed to let them back. Like, here, give me your shoe. I cleaned out their shoe and but it was someone that I was like, nope, that's it. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then just because they stepped in poop, I took that as a sign. So that was bad on me, right? So maybe right now something's trying to tell you, like, nope, there is no signs, no nothing, like, hold up your boundaries, right? But we'll see. Let's pull some more cards and see what else comes in, right? What else comes in with that? Because especially that if the vulture came out and time to heal. So if you just did all that work to heal from something, to cleanse your energy from something with the vulture spirit, even, it would feel more like something's trying to test your boundaries. Wow, look at the tower. So, yeah, maybe if you don't listen, you're going to have another tower moment, right? If you already had one, maybe you'll have a tower moment to like, hey, why didn't you listen, right? Do you need a tower moment? You think you need everything to come crashing down? Wow. Wow. So conflict maybe, right? Because of that, right? Because yeah, even this, right? It does feel like someone rushing in, like, maybe they'll cause a tower, arguments, fighting, conflict. But I mean, everything's already, if you hold up your boundaries and you're just like, I mean, you could listen to someone like in that King of Swords. Ooh, I feel like something's stabbing me literally in the back right here. So that's interesting. Authoritative, energy, analytical. See, you could have emotions. You could keep emotions out of it and just be very logical and not have to argue with someone because it just, nah, this doesn't make sense. If someone needs to express themselves that bad, you know, for some of you, Pisces, it might be, you know, maybe I had put it in. It came out in reverse, and I know it. I think feel like it had came out in reverse with another sign. But hey, if that's how it was meant to be, oh well, no, this had came out in reverse too, and it's right side up. So maybe it was meant to come out in reverse, but it's the lovers in reverse. So the lovers is the choice. So maybe it was a connection. It didn't have to be romantic. It's just the choice, right? The lovers is the choice card. So it could be a card that, whatever, partnerships, love interests, however it resonates, uh, right? A connection that's right with, so even that angel's upside down, right? So it's almost like that would be the devil card, right? But not that extreme, because the devil is the opposite, right? It's 15, which is 6 also, right? So it's the opposite of this card. But this one doesn't feel as extreme. It's just a choice, right? Something that before maybe felt like it was a good connection, but it's gonna be your choice to make. And I think if that, right, that's when, if you don't listen, then the tower hits, right? I think all these things are showing me like, yeah, wow, the world, yeah, that cycle should be finished. That's why the vulture, time to heal, everything. So whatever cycle you completed, take it how it resonates. There's so many things, right, in the spectrum of life that could be something that you closed already. So why reopen that, right? So, yeah, the world that is done, right? It is done. It is done, right? The whole fool's journey has been completed with something. So if you don't let sleeping dogs lie, right? Yeah, I think they just wanted to give me something funny, but I almost got like, when I said let sleeping dogs lie, I got that thing from Pet Cemetery where they try to revive the dead dog. It's like, why would you do that, right? Go get another dog, but hey, or revive the cat, right? It's dead. Let it be. Like that's what I got in my head. So that's funny. So, maybe this, right? Maybe 32 means something. Maybe you're 3-2, right? March 2nd, March 8th, March 6th, March 11 might be significant. Maybe you're 32, maybe you're 38. What else? What else? Maybe you're 65, 56. So just see whatever, if those numbers resonate for anything, right? Maybe that's your area code 632. Is that an area code? I don't know. Right? 326. I don't know. Whatever, however those numbers may resonate with you. So I think that's it. We did it. We made it. I pulled already a collective card. I guess I could pull one more just to end it off there. Do I have? Yeah, let's see. I haven't gotten to use these cards in a long time, and I love this deck. So yeah, that was it, Pisces. Let me know if it resonates. Whoa, okay. Tonatzin, right? Great mother, nuestra abuela. Wow, so that's the overall energy, right? Wow. I like it because the moon, right? The blue moon. She's wearing blue. You associate the moon with feminine energy. So maybe it's a reminder, right? To connect with that feminine energy, give reverence, right? Give an offering, right? During this blue moon, definitely give an offering, right? Give gratitude. So that actually, yeah, I like that. I know in the beginning it was about maybe like a redemption. Oh wow, that did make sense with some of the readings about like a if something maybe you didn't have the courage to do, right? Maybe walking away from something that wasn't good, like something that was toxic. Where are you at? Wait, did I miss it? Oh, okay. It looked like one word, so that's why I don't see it. Okay. Totsi Tonatzin. Oh, the light had dimmed. What? Totsi, yeah, means grandmother. And Tonatzin means great mother. Identified with ancient wise women, she is the patron of medicine, and protection of new mothers and their babies. She guards the temescal The purifying sweat bath. Most likely a pre-Aztec deity, Totzi is associated with the earth, often thought of as the heart of the earth. She is honored at her temple at Tepeyac, now the site of the Basilica de Guadalupe in Mexico City. There are virtually no images of Totsi, so the image of the card combines La Virgen de Guadalupe and often symbols associated with her. When Tonatzin appears, she is here as an advisor to remind you to keep your feet on the ground and take care of yourself as well as those around you. She reminds you to listen to and trust your inner wisdom. She invites you to remember that with every experience, you become wiser. Trust yourself, forgive yourself, and surrender to her loving embrace. Wow, that's beautiful. And that's funny because, right? With every experience, you get wiser, and that's the vulture too, right? Nothing is wasted because you get wiser with every experience. So that's beautiful that that came out too. So thank you to everybody that tuned in, right? Thank you to everybody, Adrian, Internal Intention, Cindy, Billy Bob. I don't know who's still around, but yeah, thank you, and River Dragon. Yeah. And anybody else that may be watching, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And yeah, enjoy your blue moon. I don't think I'm gonna do any more readings for the blue moon. Enjoy it, right? Maybe take that time to give some gratitude, give an offering, and connect with that great mother energy, great grandmother energy. Yeah, okay. All right. And don't forget to breathe. Take some deep inhales and exhales. All right. See you all soon. And